Hey, Joe. Todd Wash talked a little earlier about keys to the defensive line containing Deshaun Watson. From a linebacker's perspective, what are the keys? What are the rules to a good day against a quarterback like Watson?
Yeah, I mean, you just have to try to keep him confined in space. When he gets outside of the pocket, he gets dangerous. And when he does, you have to be able to take good angles to get him down because he's elusive. He's a good athlete. He makes a lot of people miss tackles. So taking a good angle and not trusting the other people on the defense are going to be right behind you. And when you get there, you can't break down. You just got to shoot your shot. If he makes you miss, at least make him stop his feet, and somebody else is going to be right there.
It seems self-evident, but with a guy like that can create so many different pressure points on a defense, assignment football would be the order of the day. You got to do your job. Is that more important with a guy like Watson?
Yeah, I mean, that's always important, but it gets exploited, like you say, when you're going against somebody who's as talented as Deshaun. So you just really got to be on dot your I's across your T's when you're facing an athlete of his caliber, because there's not a lot of guys in the game of football who can single-handedly change the game. Quarterback's one of the positions where if you got a guy of his caliber, they can affect the game. So you really got to, as a defense, be on your P's and Q's. That's two-letter things right there. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks, Brian. All right, let's go to D-Rock and then Gene.
Hey, Joe. Points are up across the NFL this year at a record level. Yards are up really, too. Is there anything that you, one or two things, could point to specifically for that? Is it offenses ahead of the defenses this year because of the lack of training camp time, contact time, that kind of stuff? What do you think it's attributed to?
Well, first off, I think it's because that's what the NFL wants. I mean, the rules keep changing and make it a more offensive-minded league. And then obviously, I think training camp affects everybody specific ways, but I think on defense, not getting live reps as much against other teams. You see your own offense every day, obviously, but not getting those live reps against other teams and getting those looks, I think, has been detrimental because on offense, I mean, you can run offense against air. You can't really run defense against air. You need the offense to be able to read and react and play against. So that might be a key, but other than that, I don't really know.
Do you think that defenses will catch up as the season goes on? Do you think they'll be able to slow the pace as guys get more experience doing the stuff you said, getting reps against other teams?
Yeah, you would think so. But hopefully, I think, with also the shortened training camp, I think injuries are up in the NFL this year a lot, and it just seems offensive guys can kind of plug guys in easier and not be missing as many beats as defense. So if people on defense keep going down across the NFL, I think it might stay the same. But if you can keep a healthy defense and keep building, get these first couple games out of your system, and then as the season goes on, just get stronger, I think you'll definitely see some top defenses rise into the NFL, the top ranks of the NFL.
Thank you, Joe.
Yep.
Thanks, D-Rock. All right, let's go to Gene and then John Reed and then Mark Long.
Hey, Joe. How disconcerting was it for you last week to see the run defense give up as much as it did? Obviously, things had been pretty well, for the first three games and even the first half, really, in the Bengals game. How much of it do you attribute it to, maybe guys getting themselves caught out of position? And of course, obviously, the injury factor can't be overlooked either.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the injuries don't help, but NFL, as every coach will ever tell you, is a next man up mentality, and that breathes true in every sense of the word. So you can't really use that as an excuse. And then I think everybody on defense will take it on the second half. Like there's plays where people are out of position. It's nothing they specifically did. I mean, I think Wash came in on Monday or Tuesday, I guess. So they had 4 runs for 90 yards, I think, in the second half. And then we faced all 4 of those runs in the first half, and they had a combined 7 yards. So it's just misalignments or misfits on a couple of plays that really hurt. And obviously Joe Mixon's a great running back and was able to take advantage.
Thanks.
Thanks, Gene. All right, John Reed, go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. I'd like to get your impression of Coach Todd Wash. I mean, over these last 3 weeks, has he been upbeat, motivating? What kind of coaching style has he been over these last 3 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Wash is. I don't know how to class. He's let me say he likes to have fun. He's not loose in terms of like loosey goosey or anything like that, but he knows how to have fun. He knows how to get serious when you need to be serious, and he knows how to push players to properly to get the best out of them in practice and in games. And obviously he's with the D line a lot because he's formerly a D line coach, but he stops in to different meeting rooms along the day, and you just got chops it up. And so, I mean, he's present in I think every room, and he's present vocally, and I think he does things the right way.
And I mean, does he go through a process of just pointing out some of the small I mean, like the small things. Like he said something today about getting pressure on the quarterback, even though he didn't have a lot of sacks. But do he find like some of the small things, and what does that do for guys like you and other guys on the defense to keep your confidence?
Yeah, I mean, I think the sign of a good coach is obviously to correct the things that need to be corrected, but also to point out the things that are being done well. And there has been a lot of things that have been done well. Like we were talking about earlier, the whole first half of Cincinnati game was a very well played first half on the defensive perspective. So you got to take those good things and build upon it and take that over a full 60 minutes. And then you got to identify the things that you haven't done well and eliminate those from your game. And I think he does a good job of pointing out both of those and stressing the importance of both of those aspects.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, John. All right, Mark, you can be our last question. Go for it.
Hey, Joe, I'm just curious. You see what's going on in the NFL with COVID. I'm just curious, are you nervous that, the season's going to get placed on pause, or you're just curious as to what's going to happen here moving forward with some of these teams just really unable to practice right now?
Yeah, it always gives you pause when you see something like this happen. Obviously, we've luckily been out of that the crisis, I suppose, like Tennessee's dealing with right now, and a couple other teams have had some cases pop up. But I mean, it's just the status of the world right now. We've spent the whole offseason not knowing what we were going to be doing, if we were even going to be having a season. So for me right now, it's always on the forefront of your mind because whenever you go and check your phone, you see a news flash of a new guy in Tennessee testing positive, their next week game potentially being postponed or forfeited or whatever the NFL decides to come up with if things keep happening. So it gives you pause because NFL is our business, and getting on the field and playing football is what we do for our living. So it obviously gives you a moment's pause, but I think as professionals in our environment here in Jacksonville, we just got to keep doing things the way we've been doing them. We've been good so far, and obviously it's not all just sometimes you catch it just because, I mean, I'm not a doctor, but you can catch it getting takeout. Just some things are unavoidable, but you got to limit your exposure as much as possible. And I think the guys on the team understand that, so it doesn't give me too much worry.
Would forfeiting games, would that be like worst case scenario for you guys when you look at it from a player standpoint? And would it tank the season?
Yeah. I mean, forfeiting games or just canceling the season would obviously not be great, because then you don't get paid for any of those forfeits, or if the season's canceled, you're not gonna get paid anymore for this season. So you don't want it to get to that point, because like I said, it is our job. Obviously, we get paid very well in the entertainment industry as football players, and there's a lot of people out in the world who have no normal, everyday, regular jobs who are being affected and have been affected by this as well. But the forfeiture of games and potentially canceling the season is something that's on your mind, just from a financial standpoint and your family standpoint.
Thanks, Joe.
All right.
Yep.